we've all heard that serotonin is supposed to be this happiness chemical, and it's supposed to make us happier. That has not been what I have observed. When we ask people, how do you feel when you take Prozac or an SSRI, serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which increases the amount of serotonin in your brain, usually they say stuff like, I feel numb, I feel like my brain is being shut off, I don't feel like I want to do things, I don't feel like life is better in any way, it just feels like I'm going through life as a zombie and I'm numbed down to everything. And that is not happiness according to me. If you twist it in a little fucked up way, you can perhaps say that it is happiness, because if your life sucks really hard and everything is going against you and you have nothing going for you in your life, and just thinking about how bad your life is makes you depressed. If you can shut down your brain so you still have exactly the same amount of shit happening in your life, but you don't have a functioning brain anymore, so you can't ruminate or think about the things that are fucked up in your life, perhaps that could be considered a little bit happier state. What I want to promote for people is that there is an opposing neurotransmitter to serotonin, and it's called dopamine. And dopamine increases our energy production, it increases our motivation, it makes us want to go after things that we don't already have. And I think that is a much happier kind of state. It turns on our brain so we can feel everything in our lives 10 times more than we probably do right now. The amount of dopamine that you have is directly correlated to how much energy you produce, and the amount of energy that you produce is correlated to how much energy your brain has. So when your brain has more energy, you can think clearer and you can be happier, you can be wittier, you can be looking on life from the bright side instead of from a depressed side. And serotonin shuts down your energy production, and therefore your brain doesn't get energy. And when your brain doesn't get energy, it's going to tell you to conserve the little amount of energy that you have. Because if you only have a limited amount of energy, it doesn't make sense to go after things that you don't have. It doesn't make sense to start a new business. It doesn't make sense to go chasing after girls. It doesn't make sense to be pregnant or make someone pregnant. It doesn't make sense to do anything that wastes our energy. Like being creative, being witty, being happy, thinking about fun things, thinking about how things work in the world, reading. None of those things are going to be motivating if you don't have energy in your brain. But if you get the energy back to your brain, you don't even have to sit down and write down your goals and write down what motivates you and stuff like that. Your brain will just find things, just like a 5-year-old. You don't have to ask them, what are you motivated about? What are you good at? What are your good sides and your bad sides? And what are your... like, they are just motivated all the time to go after things that they don't have. They're just naturally curious. And that's what you will be as well if you lower your serotonin and raises your dopamine instead. And by the way, we've also been taught that dopamine is something that everyone has too much, and we're using our dopamine too much because we're scrolling Instagram, and when we scroll Instagram it releases so much dopamine that our receptors get down regulated and stuff. And that might be true, but I don't think it's the reality for most people. I think that we use social media and food and whatever addictions we have to try to medicate our low dopamine levels. Our brain tries to self-medicate because it has so low dopamine, and it's trying to find things to raise up your dopamine, normal levels again. And that's why we are addicted to all these things. And I've observed this with a lot of people that I've worked with, and also myself, that when you get normal amounts of dopamine again, all addictions just go away, like magically just disappear, because your body doesn't have to self-medicate anymore.